What it do, what it do. You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold Everything powered pregame show, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. I'm Wole, and I'm joined by my co-host George, who seems like he is driving. George, are you driving?
You're doing this driving. I am driving. George? We are in the midst of post-Helene cleanup here in Southwest Florida. If we finally had a storm that caused us a problem, even though it was a storm that was hundreds of miles away from us and made landfall hundreds of miles away from us, we got socked pretty good with the old storm surge at the beach. Cool.
Well, be safe.
We're doing all right. We've got people coming in. There's a lot of people worse off than me, so prayers up to everybody here in Southwest Florida, in Boone, where a lot of my family is. Boone got hit with a whole completely separate flood up in that part of North Carolina, Tennessee. So prayers up to them. But yeah, let's talk some football, because I've been doing entirely too much stuff. And all I know about today is that the Eagles were getting smacked, but they're coming back, which I don't like.
Oh, well, it is what it is. It's football. It's the NFL. Also, man, let's get into it, man. The Washington Commanders are in Arizona to take on Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., and the Arizona Cardinals. Real quick before we get into, the discussion, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channels. Whether you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video. All right. Our pregame is also streaming on the Urban Sports Scene handle as well. All right, man, here's the rundown. We'll chat with Bowie TV's Commanders reporter, Candi Waller. She'll be joining us live from State Farm Stadium. We'll discuss Emmanuel Forbes Jr. starting today. Thank you, Emmanuel Forbes, for being back. We'll also talk about the keys for Commanders victory and predictions. Then finally, we'll select our Commanders fantasy football player of the day. All right, I think let's jump Candi. Let's get Candi right in here and make sure we're in the right format too as well for Candi, because Glenn has a sweet situation. We have our formats and whatnot. All right, so right now, live from State Farms Stadium, we got Miss Candi Waller. What's going on, Candi?
Hey, y'all.
welcome.
How you doing?
I'm just happy I'm inside. Whenever I'm inside, I'm happy.
So, Candi, real quick. So, Candi, real quick before we get to some of the other stuff, I know we talked off air a little bit, but so how's the weather like?
It's just bad. Y'all probably see me have minor meltdowns on social media because it's so hot.
I have seen it.
It's bad.
Don't ever use the phrase "dry heat" to her again.
No. Because I'm like, what does that even mean? My skin is burning. The right side of my face is burning. It's hot.
What is like dry? Like, no, that's a good question. What is like
that? There's well, at least it's not humid. I'm like, maybe hell isn't humid either, but it's still probably very hot, like it is here.
She said it's still probably very hot.
Tell the NFL to put us in Arizona in December.
I was like, yo, what is this? Whose idea was this?
This doesn't work. It's still very hot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
Does it make it better?
I know, right? So Candi, what are some of the notable inactives for today?
And I just posted it, didn't I? I think the challenge would be like notable. I do want to bring this up. I know a lot of fans have been asking about Defoe. Defoe is inactive again today. So I know, media-wise, we asked Coach Witt about that last week, and I guess they're just waiting to see the right package. We know that he did miss some time with an injury during camp, and so I think it's just a wait and see what happens. But he is definitely on the inactive list again. I think that it was already announced, and folks already knew that Austin Eckler is out with a concussion. Clelin Ferrell's out again with a knee injury. Jamison Crowder came up with a calf injury last week, so he is inactive as well. And then Chris Paul and Dominique Hampton are both inactive.
Wow. Okay.
This week. So as you know, Emmanuel Forbes is active. Jamin Davis active. So
Okay, so James is active. So he's starting to trend.
yeah.
He's still active. Because I was
Yep,
scared about
he's
the
active.
whole. I was scared about the whole Jamin thing. So Jamin's still active. He is active.
Yeah, he is active.
All right, cool. I'm happy he's back in the rotation, man. That's good. Good for Jamin.
Yeah.
So Defo. What is it like? What is this Defo issue? Like, what is it like? A lot of folks want it. Like that's a guy that a lot of fans have been talking about. What is up with Defo?
I mean, that was one of the names, if you remember, like back during right before, roster. We were like, somebody's going to be the odd person out. I think some of us assumed it would be Percy. They're very pleased with Percy. They're continuing to be pleased with Percy. He was a game captain last week or Monday Night Football. I believe,
exactly.
Game captain. So they're happy, very happy with Percy. They're extremely happy with Quan Martin. Quan Martin continues to come up as a name that he is playing the brand of football that they want to see, and they continue to mention that. He's a game captain this week, and right, wrong, or indifferent, in my opinion, they are complimentary at times of Jeremy Chin. So I think that there's just, that's what they're favoring because that's who they brought in, is what I think. That's my opinion. But they're also mentioning of the different matchups and the certain packages, and it depends on this and that. Defo is working very hard. He's working very hard. He's continuing to get stronger. He's continuing to just be a overall great guy and a team player. But he is inactive again 4 weeks in a row.
George, you want something you want to ask about Defo, George? I know that's one of the guys.
That was my main question. I guess what I'm wondering is, okay, Forbes is in, Defoe's not in. There's no Trey McBride on the other side. It feels like this is a game where there's going to be two guys running with Marvin Harrison Jr. every chance, that every time he's on the field. Is that the vibe you're getting over there, Candi?
I mean, it should be, because I know Coach Witt definitely mentioned, the two plays over the top to Mike Sainristil and Benjamin St. Juste that would be both times by Jamar Chase. So on Monday night. Now, I mean, they also acknowledge that these are excellent wide receivers, right? You're not going to win every matchup. I mean, and I've said that before. We just cannot expect these offenses not to score. They're professionals and they get paid to put points on the scoreboard as well. But I do think they're going to take a different approach because of what they've seen and because of what happened on Monday night. Again, the Commanders, as we all know, came up with the win. But I do think they're being very conscious of, okay, we probably can't put people in those positions in those one-on-one matchups because Marvin Harrison Jr. is killing it right now.
Yeah, he is killing it.
I think another player I do want to mention from the Cardinals that I don't think we're talking enough about. I mean, I know we're talking about Kyler Murray, of course, and Marvin Harrison Jr., but that's James Conner.
Yeah.
He's having an incredible season so far. He is definitely a threat, and we know that the run defense is struggling. So,
I'm worried about him out of the backfield. I'm worried about him catching the ball, even maybe more than I am him running it.
Right. So, they got a couple different threats there. I do want to throw James Conner name out because Coach Witt brought him up, as well as Dan Quinn brought him up to me on Friday as well. So that is something, and a reminder to Commanders fans that it's not just Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. that are threats on offense.
Glenn, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, well, with Emmanuel Forbes being back this week, Candi, what is his energy level like? How has he been, and how has the team responded to him? And we know, as before he went out, it wasn't a good look for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he appears to be, focused, ready to be back, ready to be playing. I didn't get any weird or funny vibes at all. I didn't get any side-eye vibes. I mean, I think the reality is, we all saw it, the replacement wasn't better, so they have to put up or pull in and make active the best possible situation based on who they have. And I think those couple of weeks with him being out, it was abundantly clear that you may as well have him out there, based on the rest of the roster. I think it's a hard truth, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, this, that, and the third with Forbes, but actually might fare a little bit better with them out there than what we saw.
So isn't that a thing to something you said earlier, and I do what I liked. You said that Chin is playing because it's your opinion, it's a guy they brought in, right? Over like Defo, it's a guy they're comfortable with. To almost the same extent you could say about like for not Forbes, but I'm trying to think for another player I guess you could say Forbes, right? Like for Forbes compared to like other individuals that they just brought in, like they favor those individuals other than say like a Forbes or whatever or whatnot. He may be the better player. He just is the better player. You know what I mean? He needs to be playing. So it's kind of interesting. Like when you say that, I'm like, you may just have your guys that you're comfortable with because of there's always a bias, right? There's always a bias. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about
Right.
Jamin. There's a bias. Like we can say Jamin like he's outplaying Fowler in preseason or in stuff like that, but Fowler is a guy that's been attached to individuals on that staff
Right.
thoroughly. So there's an obvious bias, or we brought it or even Mikey Sanders still. Like I like Mikey. Like I'm a big Mikey fan, but if you told me who looks better between Mikey and Forbes so far early this season, I maybe the argument and say Forbes look better than Mikey. And I like Mikey. I'm a Michigan fan. I like Mikey a lot. I think Mikey could be really good, but so you kind of find your bias. You know what I mean? So to your point, like I do feel like I would like to think that they're not doing that, but it's kind of showing me that they kind of are at a certain extent. Like there is a bias. You know what? We trust this player because A, we signed him. B, we drafted him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my opinion as well. I mean, that's what I kind of think it just boils down to, right? Everybody's going to go with who they brought in, who their person is, right? Unless they are proven otherwise.
Exactly.
Like, all right, I need to go back to what I was doing. And then going back to the names, like, I'll go back to Jeremy Chin. I think that is a person that shows up with a level of aggression.
Yes,
and,
he does, yeah.
And the when they talk about the brand of football, that kind of ferocious aggression, he definitely encompasses that for sure on the football field. Just from a coverage perspective, I think there's a lot to be desired there. And so it was interesting to see, like, okay, they're trying to get Emmanuel back. All right. They're trying to get him back on the field now. So, because what they thought wasn't the case in reality.
Yeah, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, it wasn't green on the other side. It wasn't green on the other side.
Exactly.
And they got to realize, and Adam Peters has to do a job, maybe before the trade deadline, to see if they can get another corner. And this team doesn't just need another corner; it needs some other things in the secondary as well. But what I think, Emmanuel Forbes, do you think he learned or gotten better since he's been out, or relieve some of the pressure? Because I know he had pressure on himself to do well. If he plays today, do we see him doing better?
I would hope so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when we were in practice this week, they practiced in the bubble because it was just too hot to be outside. And we were only able to stand there like maybe 15. So I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not
you hate this heat. You hate this heat so much.
Like I really like
you hate the heat so much.
When I picked Darrell up from the airport, he was like, "Oh my God, why is it so bad out here?" I was like, "I'm telling you, you got to be in it to understand how much."
Tell Darrell the Virginia Heat where he look. I know.
Let him. No, it's hell.
I know it is. I'm in the air.
This is funny.
I think what messed me up is the times I've been here previously, it's always been like unseasonably cold, and it's like in the 60s or 70s. So this is my first time experiencing this, and I have just been upset the whole week. That's all I've talked about, even in media scrums. Like I think I slipped up and said something in the press conference the other day, like, "Hey, coach, it's hot." I just couldn't get my question right. Like, it's hot, man. He was like, "Yes, it is hot. So make it quick."
You're in the desert.
Not a desert person.
Hey, this is hilarious. This is so funny.
Yeah, so no, I don't even know what you asked me. Would you ask me about Emmanuel Forbes being better? I would hope so. I think so. I would seriously hope so, but we're not able to see the whole practice anymore. That's what I was going with. Of course, yeah. But he's been working, of course, closely with his teammates, with his coaches, and he's back. So I don't think it's one of those situations where they think they found a better answer on the current roster. That's why he's back.
So Candi, what are your keys for a successful day for Washington today?
Last week I thought I was pretty good with this. Every week I think
you were. No, you good. No, you good every week. Don't say that last week. You good every week.
And so I gave y'all 3 names last week. I always talk about the run game, and Lord knows they're gonna miss Austin Eckler today. They're gonna miss Austin Eckler today. I think, well, like we talked a little bit about like who else would get those snaps. Jeremy McNichols, who's one of the game captains. I'm looking to be impressed by Jeremy McNichols. I think that Cliff Kingsbury really likes him. You'll see a similar game package, I'm thinking, between him and B-Rob today. So that's the run game is working and it's successful. And if they can continue to try to kind of win that starting field position battle, Austin was coming up with some big kick return. So if the team can kind of get into that mode, that'd be great. But last week I mentioned 3 names to you all. And I know it was like kind of rough, right? Like at first, I don't know if people was really feeling me or agreeing with me, but I said Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. Last week, we saw Terry McLaurin, right? We saw that connection. We saw the things that we know that we've been seeing all summer long, right? We've been seeing that connection. So we saw it in front of millions of people watching Monday Night Football, and it was beautiful. It was excellent. So you want to continue to see that and kind of penalty-free football because it was scoring touchdowns. I mean, you saw a big improvement on offense. So you want to see them continue with that, that path of progression. Huge jump. But we got to see Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. A lot of the issues with the secondary is because the lack of pressure up front. I understand the double teams, but anybody that's considered the number one is going to get double teamed. So that is an excuse. It is an excuse. It is an excuse. Okay? So if the pressure, the right amount, because here's the thing, and Bobby Wagner told us this in his media scrum earlier this week because he's gone up against Kyler Murray a lot, right? In his past and he's played with the Seahawks and the Rams. He can throw, and he is very fast. I think people underestimate how fast Kyler Murray is.
He is fast. Yeah, no, I agree.
He's so fast. So they gotta take one away, is what he said. You gotta take away his pass game. You gotta take away his run game. If you let him have both, you're not gonna take away both.
Yeah.
So they gotta pick one. So they take away his pass game. That is gonna result of pressure. You gotta hear Jonathan Allen or Deron Payne's name. We still saw last Monday was great, right? It was great for many reasons, but everybody saw how easy it was still for Joe Burrow to take the offense down the field.
400 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
400 total yards of offense.
Yes.
I do.
And losing the game, so looking at the numbers, you're like, what? This is insane. But I mean,
what helped them out? What helped them out was Washington scored every time down the field. If they miss one opportunity, they lose the football game. And that's where I'm at. And our narrative is totally different.
Yeah, and I'm going to continue with, and this is no shade or anything to Jaden because I think he is incredible, and I love what I'm seeing in terms of improvement and how the offense is gelling. But I don't want to see them have to put him in these situations where he must score touchdowns and he must lead this team down the field. Not yet. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for Jaden to have to save the team just yet. Right? There's enough veterans on the other side of that of the team on the defense that can help to shut a lot of this down. I think the team was doing well on Monday Night Football initially with keeping them to field goals, but that energy, they got tired, rightfully so, right? But it started to phase out toward the end of the game. Got to hear Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne's name consistently. Can you see them on some highlights? Right, some genuine highlights like we were seeing Terry all week. I feel very strongly about that, you all. Right? I mean, let's pay attention. They haven't been game captains yet this season.
No, I'm with you. I totally agree with you. To be
really honest, I think me and George, we talked about it Wednesday night. They only have 6 total tackles between the two of them in 4 games. And you don't want to. Again, you can't be a captain if you're not producing. This is a performance-based business, right? They're making too much money not to perform. And I don't want to hear the double team thing because they're only 5 linemen. So if you got 2 double teams, that means there's a whole bunch of people that should be racking up tackles, right? With them in the box. And they're not getting double teamed every time. What it is and what it really is, they're a step too slow. They've been, if you watch Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen, they've been a step behind everybody else, and they've been slow.
Yeah.
Or not finishing, or they're just not finishing.
Not finishing.
Yeah, because they get there. Like I'll say, Payne. I'll be fair. Payne gets there. He just ain't finishing. And he needs to finish. Like he needs to
finish.
Too much money not to finish.
I agree.
I need a rate on my. I need a return on my investment.
I totally agree.
I gave him too much money. not to get a return on the investment. You can't miss as much money as he's making. He should never miss.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
say
one
this.
of the things
Paul
that Jonathan Alley directly told me, and I shared that scrum on my show where I asked him after week 1, what is it that you specifically need to do to make an impact and be better in week 2? And he said, I need to finish.
Yeah, these dudes need to
Candi,
finish.
I just need to finish.
Yeah.
I need to finish. So if you did that, you knew that, right?
Yeah.
You knew that, right? Because now we see, you know, I pay attention to what people say,
Facts.
but I want to see what you do.
Yeah.
And it's got to show up different. And it hasn't shown up different yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. It ain't gonna be easy when you got a mobile quarterback like Kyler Murray. Payne said Paul said if Payne and Allen don't show up, play Mathis and Newton. I don't think he won Mathis. I've seen Mathis on tape. It ain't look good. Newton, but Mathis
Newton's getting more snaps.
Yeah, he has. But I've seen Mathis, and Mathis ain't some things. They took out Payne and Allen out against the Bengals, and they ran. We thought it was bad when them two were in there. That whole open like the Red Sea, and that I'm not blaming Newton. I'm blaming Mathis. He was out of position, so I don't know if you want Mathis out there regularly. To be honest with you, I don't know what Mathis to do. But I want to go something you said earlier because I do kind of want to talk about before we let you go. You talked about the running back situation, talking about McNichols, who I'm not really a fan of, but it is what it is. But Chris Rodriguez is off the practice squad. He's active. I'm correct.
Yeah, he's elevated.
Will he get any work?
Elevated. Yes, he will, just by default, right? Because Austin is out, Jeremy's up, so Chris Rodriguez will get some action as well, probably more so on special teams and then definitely, special packages, on the offense. But he was elevated from the practice squad, as was Andre Jones Jr. at defensive end. I think that's an important point to bring up as well, because I know we talk about the pressure up front on the defensive side, so that's a big, that's something to be looking at.
I agree. I think Andre Jones, he looked good. He looked good. Actually, he had a couple flash plays as well on Monday night.
Yep, he did. He did. I mean, he did. Javonte Jean-Baptiste did.
Oh, he did, man. He did. He stays wild.
He did. Yeah, he's a name that we're not hearing so far, but goes back to this rookie class, right? And what they're bringing to the table. I need to figure out when Jordan McGee is coming back.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out that too. I think he's essential.
He's essential,
especially some of this bad tackling. I think he'd be good to be out there. From what I think he's got that energy. Well, Candi, hold on, I think we got a question for Paul. Hold on. Let's see, Jones up, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Active Jones is up, Farrell inactive. He's inactive, and he still had an injury. Best of luck. I'm taking season off until we fire Sirianni. He's an Eagles fan, but I appreciate you, Coach. You always support the pod, man. I appreciate you, Coach. Before we let you go, Candi, how can folks catch you? How can folks catch you on social media?
You got to get the cornbread. It tastes like cake. Sorry, that's
what I told you, Candi. I like the realness. I told you this already. I told you. She's in the media room, bro. Like this is what happens out there. You know what I'm saying?
JB just asked me how was the food. I'm like, it was really good, unless I was starving.
The food is good over there. Is the food good?
It was good in the press box.
It's good in the press box.
And then if you're ever in Phoenix, we did go to this place yesterday called Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. That was good.
For real?
It was dope.
Okay. All right. I'm down with that.
I was angry the whole time walking to and from the car.
Mad as heat. I know you mad as heat.
I know Dark is still open, but Dan Marley's restaurant was pretty good too when I went to Arizona. That's why.
Oh, Dan Marley got heat. You said Dan Marley. I heard Dan Marley things. All right. I thought
WrestleMania 26, dog. Had to go to Arizona. Sorry.
I got you. I respect. Can't wait. Can't talk about here.
Can't talk
about cornbread when I'm already hungry.
I was a salesperson for the cornbread. Like I was like, y'all, this cornbread tastes like cake.
Hey, I understand. Lolo's is it? Say Lolo's is awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Streets is talking. Okay. I love it. All right, so Candi, how can folks catch you on social media? Also, how can they catch the great content of Bowie TV as well?
Yes, make sure you are subscribed to Bowie_TV on YouTube. And if you're in the area, the city of Bowie, Maryland, and surrounding areas, and you haven't cut your cable, it comes on Verizon Channel 11 or Comcast Xfinity Channel 77. And you can also catch Bowie TV Sports on X and Instagram. You can follow me at Seawall SE. I'm always tweeting during the game, practices, all the things.
Awesome. Hey, Candi, thanks for being on. Appreciate you. Let's hope for some good things coming
Let's
back.
hope, let's hope for some good things. It was
Yeah.
a little bit of a debacle last Monday,
Yeah.
and I said it must be so bad as a debacle like in life that I was like, they're probably going to win.
Yeah.
So it was a little similar of an issue today,
Okay. All
and I
right.
told and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so you putting out good vibes. I like that. Good juju. As a Nigerian, we believe in juju. That's what's up. Good juju.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right,
Candi.
y'all. See
All right.
y'all. Bye.
Applause, 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 applause.
Oh man, awesome. Candi is awesome, man. She's awesome. All right, let's get. All right, well, I mean, we have some good insight. I want to see Chris Rodriguez get some burn. I won't lie to y'all, but let's get to it. So, obviously, she talked about Monday night. Monday night was a special night. You know what I'm saying, for all Commander fans. To be honest with you, how important is it for Daniels and McLaurin to build on what they did Monday night? I'm gonna start with you, George.
Oh, I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see again early. I think we're going to see McLaurin get. They're gonna call something early. I think McLaurin down the field, maybe not way down the field, but down the field. And I think you start early. Also because it's a weird thing, but I kind of feel like it's not that McLaurin's going to be any sort of a decoy or anything like that, but Arizona's going to pay attention to him big time because they saw what happened Monday night. And they realize that he's now Terry McLaurin again because he's got a real trigger man throwing him the football. And I think establish that so they're worried about him, and that's going to open things up for Brian Robinson, Noah Brown, Zach Ertz, guys like that. So I'm expecting an early shot to McLaurin, and that kind of opens things up for everything else.
What about you, Glenn? Thoughts?
I think the connection is going to be there. I don't think they should force it.
Okay.
I think you should take what they give you, right? If you look at this offense with Kingsbury and you look what he has done, they really haven't forced too much, right? They've taken what the defense has given them, and it was times to take shots. He took shots, right? I think Terry's going to be the same game plan that didn't normally be in. You don't have to go push deep, right? You still got De'Ami Brown, you still got Noah, you still got Noah Brown that's still there. So you got all these players that's still there. Terry's going to get his catches. Terry's going to get his opportunities. To me, I wouldn't. If I'm Jaden Daniels, I'd do what I did last week, right? 9 different receivers, right? Yeah. Terry had the big ones, but you spread the ball around, especially with Austin Eckler out. You still get Zach Ertz involved. He's back in Arizona. It's a homecoming of sorts for them. And so you get those guys involved. And then when you get them involved, then things will open up for Terry like it did last week. You take your shots when you can. Don't force anything and let the game come to you, and you don't have to force anything.
Paul said, well, they got a chance today because the Cards have no pass rush. Well, that'd be good. It's more time for Terry McLaurin. Yeah, that's true. More time for Terry. That's a good point. More time for Terry McLaurin and Jay Daniels to connect. So that's a possibility, definitely, Paul. Deluxe said, have a feeling Senate gets more involved this week. Yeah, man. I feel like Senate has done some good things in the blocking game. I mean, he was open a few times, did get the ball against Cincy, but I think he's close. Yeah, Senate. He has an opportunity.
And if they're really worried about Ertz, Senate might come wide open a couple times if he's on there with Ertz.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I just think that I feel like they definitely have an opportunity to sync up. And obviously, this Glenn talks about a homecoming. This is a homecoming for Jaden too. He started off at Arizona State, so this is the school like he started in this state. So it's a homecoming for him as well. I think there's an opportunity to kind of like you want to show out. Like we got to see him show out on the big stage on Monday night. Now you want to show out to the people where when you started your football. Well, what places you started your football journey in Arizona State. So your collegiate football journey in Arizona State. So that's something that you want to showcase, that state, what they missed out on, because obviously him leaving there wasn't the most popular thing at the time. So he could kind of show out and show you, say, you know what, this is what it is. You know what I mean? So I kind of see that for Jaden Daniels, but I'm with Glenn too. Like you never want anybody to force feed somebody the ball, but if anybody you want to force feed the ball to is Terry McLaurin because of his track record in terms of how he ends up coming up the winner for a quarterback who forces him the ball rather than a loser. You know what I mean? His track record shows you that, you don't forcing the ball to particular wide receivers, you don't want to do it. But for him, he gives you that trust factor where you're willing to force him the football, because 9 times out of 10, he's the guy, even though he's not 6'6" or 6'5", 9 times out of 10, you give it up there, you give him a true opportunity, he'll definitely come up with that football. So but I want Glenn, you don't want this, like, the one thing we like about Jaden is that, like, he's not turning the ball over. Like, you know what I mean? So to Glenn's point, like, we don't want him to start saying, I gotta give Terry the ball, and then all of a sudden the turnovers start to happen. So I agree with you, Glenn. I feel like in terms of this, trying to follow up what you did on Monday night, do it. If you're going to do it respectfully, but also make sure Terry is a focal point. I guess my thing is you got to make sure he's still a focal point within the offense. Like, you can't treat him like he's the third wide receiver. You got to treat him like he's the number one. You know what I mean? Because you can use him as a decoy. We've seen that with other number one receivers. Use him as a decoy, but you still have to utilize that target. Like, you gotta make him feel like a decoy. Like, what I mean by that is give him the ball enough to a point where now, okay, we're scared of Terry. And then now he's a true decoy. Paul said the defense will show up today because you got to be tired of being the weak link. That's just being.
Let's hope.
Hey, Paul, know the definition. I ain't gonna hold you, Paul. Know the definition of insanity.
Yo, but I'm not gonna agree with Paul, man. At a certain point in time, this team.
I know.
At a point,
it's pride. It's a pride thing.
It's not only pride, but this team has to have a complete game, right? Last week, I don't care what anybody says, that was an offensive game. Right?
Yeah, it was offensive game.
Week before was an offensive game.
Yeah.
The defense has not put together. I want to see defense hold somebody under 300 yards, right?
That's what's up, man. It's not going to happen. Happen.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Look, man, we can all wish and hope, right? But we know we all can wish and hope. I said I would like to see. Not it's going to happen. See?
No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
I mean, I would like to see. But I would like to see, Paul, I agree. I'd like to see that the offense and defense both match up together. Online with Paul, I know this is a little bit off script. How much leeway do we get Joe Witt Jr. if this team defense does not catch up with the offense? How much leeway does he get? Because at this point last year, we was telling him we need to get
we were talking about
out of town.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to get that same energy soon.
But I mean, that's a different situation, though. Jack Del Rio had a very bad track record up before last year, and last year just added to it. Joe Witt's new, and we knew that this defensive talent was a question. And to be fair to him, you think we got it bad. I just got to my stepdad's and popped on the Bucs-Eagles game. The Eagles have missed 13 tackles. So this isn't just and you were saying, and actually you were saying this the other night, Glenn, this isn't just a Washington problem. Some of the things that have been going on out there. This is a league-wide issue. It's pronounced because now we have this offense that's capable of anything after what we saw Monday night. But I don't want to pile on Joe Witt yet because yes, he's not getting the most out of the talent. Yes, we're frustrated with the whole Derek Forrest thing. And although I missed some of what Candi said, the explanation that they're waiting for some packages and this and that, I've out had it with those excuses. It's week 4. You got to be figuring out the way to get him in there if these other guys aren't performing. But in general, you've got to give Joe Witt some time, and we have to have another off season where we add some talent to this defense before we start saying, Joe Witt's maybe the problem here.
No, I told you, speaking of like Joe Witt and his defense, obviously we talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. being like phenomenal talent. I think Ray texted me earlier saying he's averaging like 20 yards per catch, which is insane for a rookie. Do you expect, do you expect, and we got St. Juice who's playing good ball like he is. We talked about Emmanuel Forbes, and obviously, he may get lined up with him every once in a while, I'm guessing, because they're not going to follow him. But do you envision St. Juice being on Marvin Harrison Jr. Most of the game?
I see them being bracketed. I see him getting.
Oh, so you think he's going to get doubled this game? You think they're going to double him?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm with Glenn on that.
I think they're going to get bracketed and get doubled, right? You don't want the work to beat you at all. So you're going to have to do some things, give him different looks, give Colin Mary different looks, playing press bail. Playing cover 2, might even play quarters or whatever case may be playing, but you have to give him different looks. So Marvin Harrison Jr. does not beat you, right? So this doesn't turn into what was a couple weeks ago. He had 4 catches, 113 yards, and they shut him down at halftime. You can't have it this week. You can't be that way. So I think they give him different looks. And I hope St. Juice is not on the island with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, here Paul said no because they can't play man at this point.
Well, and remember, no Trey McBride.
True.
That's the most targeted tight end in football. He's not going to play. That's why. That's part of the reason Marvin Harrison is getting off like he's been. Is that if you double Marvin Harrison, Kyler's been killing people with Trey McBride. He doesn't have that today, so make him throw the ball to somebody else and see what happens.
So you want to know the truth about that, George? That's not even the reason why Marvin hasn't even. You know why? He just doesn't throw him the ball because Marvin's open.
No, I'm sure he is. No, that as well. But after that Rams game, people have been paying special attention to Marvin Harrison because they better. That Rams game was just like the heavens moved and everything when what he was doing to the Rams in that game.
I totally agree. I do think that you're not going to get like Paul said, you're not going to get they're not playing man. Oh, let me take this out. They're not going to be playing like man playing zone. So yeah, definitely you'll have some. There'll be situations where it's a whole team effort. Deluxe Defoe is in a numbers crunch. He's the backup to Chin, but Revo and Owens are beasts on teams. Oh, you're still talking about
and Deluxe is not wrong there. But if this secondary keeps getting burned every week, then what's it going to take? That's the frustration that I have from that perspective.
Yeah, but like Candi says, you're gonna have to take the D line getting pressure and getting quarterback sacks, right? Which again, you can't allow a quarterback. As we right now currently 5 or 6 seconds to throw the ball down the field, right?
No, I agree.
You gotta be a short time. Wally, I'm going script again, man. Question for you: at this point of the season, right?
Yeah.
I know you one of those guys, and we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Would you still have taken Marvin Harris Jr. over Jaden Daniels?
That's a mean thing to ask him. Come on.
I mean, the truth, like my
guy. True answer.
I think Marvin's all world. I think Marvin's the best thing. I think Marvin is going to be the best receiver in a long time. So, I mean, I think he could be I think Marvin is going to rival Justin Jefferson. So, yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
I think Jaden's awesome. There's no knock on Jaden. But you're telling me I've got the NFL. I got the Sunday ticket, and I got Sunday ticket, and Marvin gets open easy. It's not even funny. And Kyler Murray just tends to, if he wants to throw him the ball, he'll throw him the ball. How Daniel Jones, Marvin don't get treated like how Daniel Jones treats neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Daniel Jones only looks at neighbors. Kyler Murray doesn't.
Looks at everybody.
He looks at everybody else. He doesn't. He don't even look. The week one, the play that people talk about, where Kyler went off and said, I don't have to, basically I don't have to do the ball every time. He was by himself wide open for a touchdown, just chilling. And he didn't look his direction. Usually you look your first read is always, even if you don't have to, your first read is typically your number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
If Terry's running scot-free and no one looks at him, we're gonna be pissed off, right? So Marvin gets that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So it goes to our question then. Good, that's good. That's a good segue, Glenn. Who's the better quarterback tandem right now in this game? So in this game, between Daniels McLaurin and Marvin Harrison, and Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm gonna start with you. My man Michael Acosta put the better combo is JD and Terry. So I'm just letting you know that's been put out.
You're just killing me though. You're killing though. I am a Kyler fan. You, I cannot deny Marvin Harrison Jr. I gotta say, you know what? I'm gonna say Kyler and Marvin. It's so tight. It's not a slam on JD and Terry. It's so close, and it's just that Kyler's got a little more experience, and Marv is just that sweet.
Mm-hmm. Fair. So Paul says even.
Just barely.
Paul says even. Okay, that's fair.
I mean, if that's an answer, if that's an okay answer, I'll take that because
go even. That's fair.
That's fair. I'll go even because
we're not putting no pressure out here. There's no pressure on nobody.
I mean, it's because it's like Terry's got the experience. He's got the runs on the board. Marvin's just starting out, but Marvin is that sweet. Mm-hmm. So that that's where the advantage goes to Washington a little bit. But then it's the same thing with Murray and JD5.
Yeah, on the flip side. Yeah, on the flip side.
Yeah.
On our X poll, it's 63% Daniels, McLaurin, set 37% Murray, Harrison. Glenn, who's the better tandem to you?
To me, right now, I'm a numbers guy, right? I'm gotta go by numbers, so it has to be Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison. Right now, come go by numbers, right? Right now, those guys got out the blocks faster than JD and Terry McLaurin. We only have one body of work with JD and Terry McLaurin. Hope it's a continued body of work for the next couple years and years to come, right? Yeah. But right now, I have to go Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. They're putting up good numbers, right? They're putting up good numbers, and they're doing well. So that to me is a better combo right now. But I do in the long run, I think it will be Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin.
Hopefully. So Michael Underwood said Jaden got height though. Yeah, you do. Because I think we all this is the thing. I think we finished. I said this before. Like we diminished Kyler Murray's spectacularness. I feel like folks forget how good Kyler Murray is. That's a wild thing to me. Like because we say he's immature. He could be immature, but when he came, like I said, he came back last year. They became a better football team when he came back. So he is a good quarterback. I know people don't like he's a very good quarterback. He throws from different multiple arm angles. The dude is quick and he's fast. You know what I'm saying? And he likes to throw from the pocket. You know what I mean? He does like to throw from the pocket for a small dude. And he can see over the pocket for a smaller dude, which is wild. Like Sam Howell used to have issues with it, but for a smaller dude, Kyler Murray can see over the pocket. Well, he can find angles a little bit better. But back to the question, who's a better tandem? I think Glenn long term it's wild. I think short term I can almost lean to Terry right now, Terry and Daniels. But I think long term, to be real with you, because of age and what I expect Harrison to be as a receiver, it would be to me Murray, and it'd be more because of Harrison. It would be more because of Harrison. What I mean by that is, as much as I like Terry, I was screaming through my lungs about Terry McLaurin. Like I said, Marvin Harrison being on the Justin Jefferson side or like one of those receivers throws up anything that where I put Terry at. I think Marvin can be at an elite one, like top 3 receivers in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's my thought process on Marvin. People may not have that thought process on Marvin, but that's my thought process on Marvin. So it's more long term. But on the short term, I could say Terry. I feel like Terry has an opportunity. Terry and Jaden Daniels this season could be better than those two, because I feel like Jaden will have more of a willingness to throw the ball to Terry compared to I don't like Kyler's attitude about throwing Marvin the ball. Like I think he's a little bit too he's not codependent on this one. And I feel like when you have one that's one of them, you got to be codependent. Like when Matthew Stafford had Megatron off the rip, that dude just threw everything up. Matthew, I can make the argument that Matthew Stafford is now a better quarterback now than he was back then, but he didn't care. Like I had Megatron, I don't care. I'm throwing him the ball regardless. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing.
Brett Favre and Sterling Sharp. You just popped Brett Favre and Sterling Sharp into my head when you talk like that.
That's a great. Hey George, that's the perfect comparison. When Brett Favre had Sterling Sharp, he just threw it up. He just chucked it. Paul. Yeah. Paul said he said.
But you know what? You put it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go.
Because you put something else in my mind. Do we think that somewhere down the line Marvin's going to get frustrated with that and want to move teams?
I think he'll be frustrated to the point where if it gets bad, I think there'll be a choice. There'll be a choice between the two. One may not be there.
Yeah, win football games.
Yeah, that too. You got to win football games. So like, let's say Paul. This is my question. Paul is so to your question. You say this. So is Justin Jefferson like Terry but taller? Because Marvin is more of a comp to Justin Jefferson, to be real with you. I mean, if you're saying that, then I like Terry a lot, but is he that comp? Because to me, Marvin's more like Justin Jefferson, and I would make the argument, yeah, he's more like Justin Jefferson. So, are you saying that Terry is like Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson is taller? And honestly, Marvin's a hands dude. Terry's not a hands dude. He's more of a chest dude. So that's a whole. He catches the ball with his chest. Marvin's more of a hands dude. But yeah, but there's no knock on Terry. Terry is awesome. No, Marvin is Marvin. All right.
Well, I mean,
Terry
and
they're different.
That's the whole point. Is we're talking about very high level receivers here.
Yeah,
we're talking about the kind of guys that around the league have respect. We know Terry McLaurin's got the respect, and I'm pretty sure Marvin, if he doesn't have it already, will by the end of the year. Where teams are like, yeah, if that guy's available, we'll trade the farm for him, kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at it right now. If today was a day, you're looking at when you're talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. and you're talking about I'm gonna throw Jaden Daniels in this conversation. Yeah, you're looking at the two people that could be rookies of the year.
Yeah.
Right? They could be offensive rookie of the year. You're looking at two kids that can be offensive based on the body of work, right?
Yeah.
And so you're looking at a Marvin Harrison who, I hate to say it, he was built to be a pro NFL receiver, right?
Yes, he was. His dad he's groomed to it. This is what he was groomed.
He was groomed. Put on this earth by the good Lord himself to do that.
Right. He was groomed for this. All right. And so you look at that aspect that he's coming in with, years of experience over some other guys that's coming in. And not just years of experience, but he has a Hall of Fame father, right? Who's
one of the best route runners ever to play this game.
One of the best route runners ever. So he knows the tricks of the trade, right? The things that he needs to do and how to work. So again, it's not apples to apples or oranges to oranges. But Marvin Harrison is him on, and could be him in the league in a couple of years.
But also to a point where it goes back, like that's it. Well, I don't want to keep talking about Marvin, but like for this tandem, like, but to everybody's point, like even just like Paul said, I think, or you said, Glenn, it was a good point. I think it's a great point. I do think that Jaden Daniels with experience will be better than Kyler Murray. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he has that special it factor. So like now, because of experience,
and I agree with that.
Like you're going to put the edge, with, because like George said, because of experience, that's why you were leaning towards Kyler, which I totally agree with George for this season, because he's seen more defenses. He's experienced. It is what it is. But I do think that Kyler, with Jaden Daniels, once he sees it after year one, like his upside is going to be so trill. You know what I mean? So it can go either way. But if we're projecting it, it can go either way. So that's why I'm not mad at even, because either way, because you're looking at one way or the other. Like you're looking for Jaden to be better, to be far more better than Kyler Murray. Then I'm not gonna argue. I think that's fact. That's a factual statement. On the flip side, the same with Terry and Marvin, like Glenn said, Marvin was built to be a receiver. Like you're learning route, like as a 6'4" receiver, you're learning the route tree early from a guy who was one of the best route runners. And I'm sure you learned from Reggie Wayne too, because they both all play on the same teams. So I'm sure you get advice from those dudes as well. So, and Peyton Manning, you know what I'm saying? Like you learn how to be an NFL player early as a youngster. So it's a little different, but I do think the projection is a little bit, what Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be and Terry's going to be, and you can flip it on the reverse side, what Jaden's going to be and what in the next 5 years, what Kyler Murray is going to be. So it's kind of it is a hard debate though. It is a difficult debate. Once the game slows down for Jaden, he will be. Yeah, I agree with this. Like. Yeah, I agree with this statement too. Again,
I agree with that. Yeah,
I agree.
And you saw that. I think it's starting to slow down for him.
I think it is. I totally agree with you, Glenn. It's starting to slow down little by little.
Yeah, I think it's starting to slow down for him. And once he goes through once he goes to the NFC East and he'll see every team there, I think it gets really slow for him.
Yeah, because of defenses.
Yeah, because of the defenses, and not too many more things, and there's not too many more things you can see or what you can do. In the NFL, man, there's only so many defenses you can run. There's only so many combinations you can give a person.
Paul said, I can honestly say we have the best. I kind of agree with Paul now. Paul, at first I didn't agree. I agree with you, Paul. I kind of agree with you. I didn't agree with you initially, but I kind of agree with you with that one. These quarterbacks, like in the NFC East.
I agree with Mike too. It is true. He has been prepped by his dad all his life to play quarterback.
Yeah, Jaden. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Hurts. No pocket play. I'm not watching. The Eagles lose or something. I'm not watching the game. Did the Eagles lose?
Well, no, they looked like they had just thrown an interception, but this is going to get overturned. I think this is going to get overturned. Poor old Jalen Hurts is getting the holy hell beat out of him, and I almost it's 33-16 Tampa, okay. And I almost feel bad for Jalen Hurts because I like Jalen Hurts, even though he's an Eagle. He's getting the beat out of him.
Right, I know
he getting the Cam Newton treatment.
So
oh gosh. He's been sacked 5 times today, and he's been hit a bunch of other times too.
So this proves my point. I'm not to be mean, but this proves my point about Jalen. This is what I was saying about Jalen Hurts, to be honest with you. He is now going to see what it feels like to see because his offensive line, he's missing some pieces from what he had last year, and it's still a really good offensive line. But he's now going to see what it is to be a true quarterback in the NFL is when you can't sit in the pocket for 5 minutes. I know I'm exaggerating, but I'm being real in that aspect. He now is going to have to see, I got to get the ball out quicker. Like he's going to have to, because it's easy. It's easy when you have those weapons where you can sit in the pocket all day and then find those weapons. You know what I mean? He's going to learn.
You miss Kelsey and some other guys.
Exactly. He's going to learn. He is going to learn. That's what he is going.
I mean,
this is a question for you, George.
Okay.
Paul says, does Hurts have any pocket presence? He's asking.
It's not where it's not where it needs to be. I'm not sure it's as bad as what people say, but it's not where it needs to be. Since I've got the game on, you could argue a couple of the sacks were on him, but he has been under siege. Every time he's come back and thrown the ball, it feels like there's been a Buccaneer in his face, and he's gotten knocked around pretty good. And they missed AJ Brown. And here's the other thing. Now we know how important AJ Brown is to Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
They need him some kind of badly to open it up for everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Hand the ball to Saquon, and you don't get hit as much.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I think Saquon's not had a good day either. I'm not sure because I haven't seen any numbers on him.
So, they tend to what happens. They tend to want to throw the ball. I mean, who's the coordinator again? My guy's a coordinator. Right?
Oh, it's what's his face? Kellen Moore. Kellen flipping Moore. Yeah. Why would they do that?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Kellen Moore, man.
I don't understand, but whatever. I mean, they're goose is cooked.
On Philly. I know. I don't know, Deluxe. I don't know. Philly should be really
Deluxe. How is Tampa doing what they've done this season and lost to Denver? I mean, you figure that one out.
Derek Carr being Derek Carr, I know. Saquon is the only. The kid.
It's crazy. Derek Carr being Derek Carr, and this is the freaking week. I have benched him every week except for this week.
And he's playing good, right?
No,
he's not. Derek Carr's not playing good.
He's given. I know the Falcons had a pick 6 to take the lead. I don't know what the score is.
Are you serious? They came back.
It's 17-23. The Saints are on the 1-yard line.
Okay, so it's the Falcons.
Jalen Hurts just got sacked again on 4th down. I mean, it's just. And the Eagles fans are leaving.
Touchdown Saints, Alvin Kamara, 1 touchdown. We give it up this. All right, we got to go keys to victory.
It's that fantasy stuff, I tell you. All right, y'all. So, what are the keys for Commanders' victory? Oh, we got to hurry up. We about this game time. What's the keys for Commanders' victory?
Run the football. Win 3rd down.
All right.
And get 8 to 9 receivers involved.
Okay, George, your keys to victory.
Have the ball last. If Jaden Daniels gets this ball with 2 minutes left and we're within 7 points, I'm happy because I'm confident he can take us down the field and win the game.
I agree with that. Run the football. I think always for this team, it starts there. I feel like the running back situation is oh man, look, hey George, he said Saquon Barkley. He having a good game.
Oh wow, okay. So because I hadn't seen Barkley hadn't touched it once since I turned the TV on, so I hadn't showed his stats. So in other words, they got too far behind to get Barkley the ball.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's a question. Here's not a question. A comment from Paul said, in terms of the keys, defense, special teams make plays. Yeah, I think running the football. I'm not gonna say defense because they're consistently bad. So I'm not gonna put the defense out there. I will say I will say this on 3rd and long. Get out. Get off the field on 3rd and long. That's on defense. It's the most important thing. I'm not going to even say stop. It's easy to say stop the run, but you're not even showing me that type of stuff. But I'm just say 3rd and long, get off the field, and like Paul said, consistently be good on special teams. I feel like I'm gonna say this. The thing about this team, which I've been in love with this team, is that they've been good on 2 or 3 phases of football. They've been good on offense, and they've been good on teams. Obviously, if they can just get that defense situated, I agree that I think they can be real special. But right now, that you are who you are, and I'm not going to talk about you differently until you change my mind on the field. So you are who you are. So those 2 things, do that. Run the football when the time of possession, because you don't, like to George's point, you don't want to have Kyler Murray, James Conner, and Marvin Harrison have the opportunity to score multiple touchdowns and have that defense see that offense a lot. You know what I mean? So let's limit their opportunities. Limit their opportunities, and I want to see them run the football well with B-Rob, and see them run the football well with what's my guy's name? Football well with I want to see Chris Rodriguez some touches too, because I want to see some touches. You know what I'm saying? I know they're going to play with McNichols, but I want to see Chris Rodriguez to get touches.
And don't put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, that too. Most important. Yeah, turnovers. Win the turnover. I'm sorry. No what? Real talk. Win the turnover battle. That too.
Yeah, win the turnover battle.
Win the turnover battle. All right.
Again,
all right.
Which they have won all year.
Yeah, they have, because Jaden is very safe with the ball. That's what I like about this team. Like, that's what I do. And I feel like we don't get that many penalties. We've been I would say we've been real disciplined of late. Like, I wasn't happy the first week, but the last 2 weeks we've been very disciplined.
No penalties in the red zone.
Yeah, that too. Hold on. I think I have a comment. Here you go. Deluxe. Play to run it, shade to Marvin, control pass rush. I will look, man. I ain't gonna hold you, Ducks. I want that too. But
yeah.
Why I don't believe it. Joe Witt, for some strange reason, the first 2 weeks, man. The first 3 weeks, he really doesn't like doing that. He don't like shading coverages. Jamar Chase, get money. Mike Evans, get money. Neighbors, get money. Can we really do that though?
It's this,
like,
yo,
we know who the ones playing. Are. We just say Glenn.
No, I said they're playing. It's not gonna they're not gonna get any easier. They're playing top ones.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just saying, like, I want them to do that, but when every number one is like, you got to start them in fantasy football, it's like, shoot, dang.
I just
and
hope
they're guaranteed too.
AJ Brown ain't playing.
Yeah, they like a guaranteed 2 touchdowns though. You know what I mean? Like, they like almost a guaranteed 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like
stealing candy from a baby.
Can we like stop that? I want to stop that. No, I want to stop that narrative. I ain't gonna hold you. So Deluxe, hopefully, yeah, man, they shade coverage and don't let him beat you. Just have somebody else beat you. It's better that way. All right.
I love Deluxe's point about the controlled pass rush too, though, because Kyler Murray, when he gets outside the pocket, is trouble.
Fact.
Hey, this should be a big game for Jamin Davis if he plays.
Well, he's
yes.
Lucky he's out there, but hopefully he gets to play a lot more. All right, so it's fantasy football. It's our fantasy football portion of the show. Let's start with you, Glenn. Who is that dude for the Commanders for fantasy football?
With Austin Eckler being out, I'm gonna say Brian Robinson will get more carries. I think we'll see Brian Robinson out of the backfield a little bit more. I think Austin Eckler helps Brian Robinson, but I think they're gonna put the load on Brian Robinson Jr. this week and let him go. So he is my fantasy pick of the week because of Austin Eckler being out, and I think he's gonna carry the load.
Okay. What about you, George?
I'm gonna kind of go back to something I said earlier. I think they're going to put the attention on Terry McLaurin, but I think we're going to establish him early.
Okay.
No, you shouldn't be. You got me?
Okay. No, you're good. You're good now.
I think you're going to establish Terry McLaurin. Okay. I think we're going to establish Terry McLaurin in early, and then they're going to put a lot of attention on him. So Noah Brown for me. Noah Brown, I think it's going to be open. I think there's going to be some big opportunities for Noah Brown today.
Man, so for me, it's going to be you're like so you say Noah Brown. I could be obvious. I don't like to be obvious, but I feel like I could be obvious. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Noah Brown.
Oh yeah, I'm going with Terry. Terry, we get money now. Me and Terry, we get money now. I think he's gonna build on this. I think there's a lot that Terry can gain all of this out of what he did on Monday night. I feel like Jade now there's more of that trust factor, and like when you're young. You don't know any better, man. You're like, all right, this is what works. You know what works now. All I gotta do is he's gonna be open. Let me start looking there first, and then see if we can make this play. And Terry, and I think also Cliff being willing to put Terry out there on some of those explosive plays like those deep routes is going to be something that I feel like Terry's going to be a guy that can do well in fantasy football. So yeah, those are our picks. It's 4:00, so it's almost about this time to end this pod. But don't forget to tune into our score. My bad.
Who do we predict?
All right, score prediction.
Yep, guys in the chat, drop your chat real quick before we get out of here. Drop who you think is going to win in the score.
Yeah.
What you got?
Oh, hold on. My man first Paul said we're using Paul. I'm going to say Luke McCaffrey with a big game. You know what? I can see that. Luke McCaffrey.
It's not a bad one. That's not a bad pick either.
My score, I'm going to say Washington. I had 37. I had them losing in a prediction. That was more for like superstition stuff. But I'm gonna say Washington 31, Arizona. I'm gonna say Washington 33, Arizona 30.
Okay.
No, you go.
I got 35-28 Washington. 35-28 Washington. I think gonna get in the red zone for 5 times. 35-28. It's gonna be a shootout.
Paul.
I have a shootout, but I have it the other way. I have 35-31 Arizona.
I can see it. There's Paul 30-17.
If Washington holds this offense under 20 points, we are going to have a party in this post-game show if they hold Arizona under 20 points.
That means the defense was spectacular. If that's the case, the defense was spectacular. Not good, spectacular. You know what I mean? If that's the case, did they win? Saints lost. All right. Yeah, Kirk Cousins game winning drive. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, don't forget, we're about to end the show. Don't forget to tune in to our post game show directly after the game. We'll be on our YouTube, IG, and we won't be on Facebook Live. We'll be on YouTube and IG Live. And we'll also be streaming on the Urban Sports Team X account as well. Hey, I'm gonna say like Mark Zuckerberg, I don't mess with you, bro. Like I don't like what you did with my Facebook page, our Facebook page. So I'm gonna be complaining about you, bro.
Yeah.
And Meta. I don't know if you
boo Meta, boo
or whatever. Like I don't know what y'all doing, but y'all making up stuff, which I don't like. So I don't think we even doing a Facebook page anymore because I was so annoyed by that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all
just go to YouTube. It's on the YouTube.
Just go to YouTube. Like I said, go to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Go to YouTube. Definitely just YouTube. YouTube and IG. If you're on IG, YouTube and IG. You know what I'm saying? So to let y'all know. But yeah, I got you, bro. Mark, I got you, Brody. I got you. Hey, so anyway, but subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. It is up on IG at ABG_everything. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. Hey, bots. What do you say? Hey, what do you say?
Yeah, I got you, Paul. I got you.
What do you say?
The bots that come in the chat. I got you.
There's a lot of them that come in?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. I haven't peep game. I didn't know we had bots like that. Okay. Well, Paul, thanks. Appreciate it, Paul. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being on, man. We appreciate y'all for like being on. When I say y'all being on, y'all being part of the chat, like y'all on the show, basically. Anyway, man. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out.